Good afternoon. It is Tuesday, February 27th. We're going to start with our special meeting. This shall provide general notice that during the course of the meeting, the board may elect to discuss any item in the agenda, closed session in accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Act, Government Code, Chapter 551, Subchapters D and E. Please note that the members of the board may participate remotely pursuant to Texas Government Code 55.1127 by video conference at this meeting. However, a physical quorum of the board shall be present at 240 North Crockett Street, San Benito, Texas 78586. This will also provide the notice that the item listed as a closed session agenda may be moved to an open session. Roll call. Mr. Orlando Lopez. Dr. Ariel Cruz.
Present.
Thank you. Rudy Corona, Board Secretary, present. Mr. Frutoso Gomez.
Present.
Thank you. Mr. Oscar Medrano.
Present.
Mr. Alex Reina. Mr. Mario Silva.
Present.
Mr. Alfredo Perez, Acting Superintendent of Schools.
Present.
And Mr. Tony Torres, Board Attorney. Thank you. At this moment, we will move over to item 1.2, public comment on agenda items. The next item on the agenda is the public comment. Before we begin, I will remind our audience members of the board's procedures for handling public comments. The public comment portion of our meeting is available to members of the public according to the following. At regular board meetings, the board shall permit public comment regardless of whether the topic is an item on the agenda posted with notice of the meeting. At all other board meetings, public comment shall be limited to items on the agenda posted with notice of the meeting. Anyone who would like to speak during public comment must sign in prior to the start of the meeting and list the topics they want to discuss. An individual's public comments to the board shall not exceed 5 minutes per meeting. Please keep your comments or criticisms civil and courteous. Please avoid using profanity and refrain from making personal attacks on others during your opportunity to speak. We ask that you do not discuss students who are not your own children. In addition, the participating individuals shall adhere to the following. State their full name and what organization or group, if any, is being represented. Indicate the topic about which they wish to speak. Shall refrain from commenting directly to an individual employee or public official by name, but may refer to the specific employment area, job title, or the board as a whole, and shall refrain from attacks on individuals. Lastly, if after at least one warning from the presiding officer, any individual continues to disrupt the meeting by his or her words or actions, the presiding officer may request assistance from law enforcement officials to have the individual removed from the meeting. If a speaker is seeking board resolution of a specific complaint, that concern should be addressed through the district's grievance process. District policy, DGBA, has been established for addressing employee complaints. Policy FNG is the avenue for filing parent complaints, and policy GF addresses community member complaints. Grievance forms can be obtained at any campus administration office or at the district central administration office. Thank you. Today our first speaker will be Ms. Rosalinda G. Garcia. You will have 5 minutes, Ms. Garcia.
Good afternoon.
Acting Superintendent. Of course, this meeting's on Senate Bill 763, and maybe the acting, I would like to hear, for the community to hear what is this Senate bill, and maybe the acting superintendent does have it on his agenda to give us a synopsis on that. That would be very helpful because of how I understand it, that it's about adopting the Senate bill for having to do with hiring a chaplain. And I understand, you know, the need, because there's a lot of school districts that are voting on this. I don't know why y'all are voting on it this late, because it was passed last year. And was there a deadline? Is the deadline March 1st to whether you're going to adopt it or not? But I do recall this need about counseling for students. I recall a couple years ago when State Representative Janie Lopez was a board member, and she brought this topic. Maybe I'm wrong, but I recall how counselors are so busy with their educational duties. They're called counselors, but they do a lot of scheduling and all that, and that there was a need to have a counselor just for this need, counseling, when students grieve, whatever the problems that they bring from home. I know that that was discussed, having counselors, our district counselors, on staff, or having that specific duty. Just like she brought up about having security way before not way before, but this was done before the Uvalde tragedy, that we brought, she recommended more security, certified security. And I know that brought a lot of grief over there in Uvalde. So with that, I hope we get a synopsis of it. I know, like I said, a lot of school districts will be voting on this, or they have voted on it already. Thank you.
After the UNFC
Yeah.
pertaining to her.
Oh, to requesting?
Yes.
We'll discuss it in executive session, and then before we vote, we will give a synopsis on what we're voting on.
At this time, we'll move to item number 1.3, discussion and possible action to approve adopting a policy regarding chaplains as per Senate State Bill 763. To close meeting in accordance with the Texas Government Code Opening Meetings Act, the board may move into closed session.
I have a couple of questions that I need to ask. What are chaplains? Are they pastors, missionaries? How do we define chaplains?
The statute doesn't define it, sir.
Come again?
The statute doesn't define it.
It doesn't define it? So how do you know?
The statute doesn't even require them to be certified by the State Board of Educator Certification.
So what's the definition of chaplain?
Yeah.
I know the military has it. So is it
Exactly.
like someone that,
If you're asking about what the Education Code says, it doesn't define it for us.
yeah, but in the regular definition,
It's of a religious nature. I don't have the exact definition in front of me, but I can.
So let's say I'm a pastor of a church and I present myself as a pastor. Is that equivalent to a chaplain?
A chaplain is defined as a member of the clergy attached to a private chapel, institution, ship, branch of the armed services, etc.
But chaplains do go to the trainings themselves.
I think every denomination.
Yes.
Every denomination.
Yeah.
It's different,
Yes.
right? That's what I'm asking.
No. And they do, I think Ivan was saying they do get certified by the state of Texas.
And that's part of the process.
Yes.
For you guys to determine if you're gonna adopt a local policy to allow them to either be, a chaplain to be either hired or volunteer.
Volunteer.
For you to adopt that policy, that's the process you're entertaining here today.
So that policy won't go into effect after we decide what we're gonna do.
Correct.
I believe we need chaplains in our schools to give them.
But we're gonna go beyond closed doors.
that's good discussion.
I'm just, I thought
Oh, you had a question? Did you have another question? No?
no.
Okay, so do we have a motion to go?
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Have a motion by Mr. Silva. Do I have a second?
Second.
Have a second by Mario. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Thank you. So we'll go into closed session at 1:10. Thank you. Okay, it is 1:41 p.m. and we're moving on to action 3.1. Action on matters considered closed session if necessary. So at this time, do I have a motion in reference to?
I move.
What was discussed in closed session?
I move that SBCISD not approve adopting a policy regarding chaplains as per Senate Bill 763.
Okay. Do I have a second? I second the motion. All those in favor say, oh, I'm sorry. Mr. Silva, at this time, I'm going to ask for your vote on this. Nay. Mr. Medrano, I will ask for your vote at this time.
Nay.
I myself is a nay. And Mr. Frutoso Gomez, I'm going to
Nay.
ask. Nay also. Okay. So at this time,
It's a nay in favor of what Dr. Cruz's motion was?
Yes, sir.
yes, sir.
The motion is adopted.
No, the motion is not adopted. We win.
No, stay as it is.
That's why I'm asking, for purposes of clarity.
I'm sorry.
She's saying, she made a motion not to approve a policy.
A policy.
So
Yes.
are you guys in favor of her motion?
Yes.
Okay.
So then it should be.
So then it should be yea.
Yay.
I'm
Okay.
sorry. Apologize. So we'll retract. So Mr. Silva, at this time,
Yay.
you're okay. And Mr. Medrano,
Yay.
Rudy Corona, yay. And Mr. Gomez.
Yay.
So it is, we have yays, all.
And a yea.
So,
At this time, the motion carries,
sorry about that.
and we will have our, Mr. Perez go ahead and give an explanation on this.
So for just clarifications on what was discussed and voted on right now, what was voted on was that we will not be creating a policy regarding chaplains in our school district. That does not mean we do not accept volunteers in our school district. Anybody can volunteer in our district. What we voted on was that we just will not create a policy delineating what the chaplains will do in our campuses, or that we will employ any of the chaplains as chaplains in our campus. But again, like I say, anybody in our district can volunteer through our parental involvement department, as long as they go through the proper channels and they go through their HR department, and we do background checks, and we just want to make sure who it is that is coming into our campuses. And so, again, anybody who wants to volunteer in our district, we appreciate everybody who wants to volunteer. We accept them with open arms. And, we're the first ones to say that the more people that want to volunteer in our district, as long as they go through the proper channels, the better for us and our students. So that's just a little bit of the explanation.
Thank you, Mr. Perez. It is 1:44. At this time, do I have a motion to adjourn the meeting? There was a motion made by Mr. Silva, a second. Second by Mr. Oscar Medrano. All those in favor? Thank you, Ms. Dr. Cruz. Meeting adjourned.